So, καλημέρα σας.
So, good morning. I had the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Stoltenberg, NATO Secretary General, to Athens once again today. It's been a year since his last visit here. In the meantime, we have had dense developments and frequent provocations. The atmosphere may now be different, but still, I believe that he knows very well the situation in the area, and he's also very well aware of our national sensitivities and concerns. We have also discussed everything that has happened in the Eastern Mediterranean in the meantime. These are events that are a threat to peace and stability, as well as NATO's cohesion. It's clear that when a member, such as Turkey, exercises delinquent behavior against another one, in that case Greece, then this goes against the alliance as a whole. And when the sovereign rights of one member are questioned, then the road is widely open to the questioning of other members' rights as well. So this is not a bilateral issue. It is an issue of concern to all the North Atlantic Treaty partners. And it is fact, it is something that goes against Europe in an area of its concern, and it is happening in an area of strategic interest for the United States and for all the West as well. A very characteristic example of choices that go against the alliance's own interest is the fact that Turkey has acquired the S-400 anti-aircraft missiles. You yourself has pointed this out yesterday after your meetings with the leadership of our neighboring country. I have repeated to the Secretary General that as long as while Greece remains faithful to its national rights, it is also firmly supporting and claiming the peaceful resolution of the differences on the basis of international law, the principles of good neighborly relations, and on the principle of solidarity, which is at the very core of NATO. At the same time, Greece is firmly committed to refrain from every use of violence, as is also foreseen by the Treaty of Washington. And this is the reason why we are welcoming the first step by Turkey in the direction of de-escalation of the recent tensions. It now remains to be seen whether this is a sincere move or just a temporary maneuver, and whether it is part of a policy of respect for international law and not just a bright recess of compliance with the international obligations of that country. What we expect from our neighbors are persistence and consistency, and we also expect the immediate setting of a date for the start of exploratory talks on the sole subject of the demarcation of maritime zones in the Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean, as was also also reflected in the conclusions of the recent summit. In the same spirit, I have welcomed Mr. Stoltenberg's initiative to set up a technical military mechanism to avoid accidents, what we call a deconfliction mechanism. This has come with a text where it is clearly mentioned that there is a need of respect for international law and peaceful resolution of differences. And in the same framework, it was decided that a hotline, a 24-hour hotline, should be created between Greek and Turkish armed forces. These measures are welcome, but they are purely technical, and let me stress this point. These are measures that have come after the crisis. They have not deterred it, because in such important choices, we need to see the political will of governments, their intention to comply with international legality, their wish to live peacefully and collaborate with the remaining states. Therefore, I will repeat that it is up to Turkey to block the way to a crisis and open the way to a solution. We are ready to meet them along this road. I'm sure that this is the road that we will follow because it is to the benefit of both sides. The Secretary General and I have also discussed the recent dramatic developments in Nagorno-Karabakh and the continuing bloodshed, which, over and above its humanitarian dimension, is a cause of destabilization in the region. We are in favor of an immediate termination of hostilities, as well as of the foreign interventions that generate them. We are in support the appeals of the Minsk Group co-presidents for a ceasefire and a resumption of the peace process. I have also had the opportunity to inform the NATO Secretary General concerning our recent decisions to upgrade the armed forces, the purchase of aircraft from France, and the fact that our Navy is going to acquire frigates, and for our plan to employ 15,000 experts in our armed forces in the next 5 years. This is very important because as we upgrade our operational capabilities, the NATO operational capabilities are also upgraded. And let me remind you that even throughout the crisis, Greece was spending more than 2% of its budget for military spending. And of course, Greece is in favor of the Secretary General's initiative in the framework of a consultation about the alliance in view of 2030. We repeat that the rockstone of NATO is the principle of solidarity. This is where effectiveness, unity, and the prestige of the alliance are being tested. We should not forget that the word alliance means in Greek together in battle, but in this case it means together in the battle for peace, for security, and for cooperation. Once again, Secretary General, welcome to Athens, and thank you for the very productive talks.
Prime Minister Mitsotakis, dear Kyriakos, thank you for that warm welcome. It's great to be back in Athens, great to see you again. And Greece is really a valued ally. You are committed to our shared security, and you contribute to NATO in many different ways. With the contributions to NATO missions from Afghanistan to Kosovo, your jets help to keep the skies over Montenegro safe, and your naval forces are an important part of NATO's maritime posture. So we are grateful for all your contributions. Then, of course, we also welcome the fact that Greece spends more than 2% of GDP on defense, and we also welcome the announcement of how we are going to further modernize your armed forces. This will strengthen NATO. All these contributions keep Greece strong, and they keep NATO strong. We discussed the security situation in the wider region and NATO's response. For several years, Greece has been on the front line of the refugee and migrant crisis. NATO stands with you in solidarity. NATO's mission in the Aegean Sea supports Greek and Turkish authorities and the EU border agency Frontex in their efforts to cut the lines of human smuggling. And I thank Greece for your contributions to this deployment. It also shows how NATO helps to strengthen the cooperation between NATO allies and the European Union, dealing with an issue which is of great importance for all of us. We also discussed the recent tensions in the Eastern Mediterranean. Through the constructive engagement of Greece and Turkey at NATO headquarters, we have now established a bilateral military deconfliction mechanism. This includes a commitment to use a secure hotline between Greece and Turkey, available 24 hours a day, to facilitate deconfliction at sea and in the air. I welcome this and pay tribute to both allies for your efforts. And we stand ready to develop it further. The deconfliction mechanism can help to create the space for diplomatic efforts. It is my firm hope that the underlying disputes between two allies can now be addressed purely through negotiations, in the spirit of allied solidarity and international law. We also discussed concerns about Russia's growing military presence in the Mediterranean region. This has implications for our security, so we must address it together. Our alliance is an important platform for dialogue, where allies from Europe and North America come together every day to discuss issues that are of importance for our security, regardless of how difficult some of these issues may be. Because we know that we are stronger by addressing them together. So our alliance is strong because we stand together. So, Prime Minister, it's great to see you again. Thank you for your important and timeless and tireless support to our alliance. And thank you for timely discussions here today. And thank you for your strong personal commitment to our transatlantic alliance. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.